You are now tuned in to the Jmack Experience Podcast.
All right, we're back, and we got a very, very special guest on the show today. I want to give you a round of applause. Thank you so much for being here with us. How are you feeling today?
I feel good. It's good to finally meet you face to face.
Absolutely.
Yep, good to be in the studio.
Oh man, This is gonna be a great episode. I know you got a lot of wonderful things to talk about. Basically, before we start, I just want to get to this. Where can people watch the movie? Is it in specific theaters? And, what's the plan? Is it going to be in theaters for a while? I just want to get the promotion out the way first before I forget.
First and foremost, the Providence Place Mall is still showing this movie.
Right.
If you keep going, they will keep showing it. We're over a month and a half in right now, and it's still burning along. Now, that said, if you go to secretmallapartment.com, you will find listings for everywhere it's showing, and it is showing nationally.
I have the screenshot. I'm going to put it on the...
Yeah, so if you know somebody in another city, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Kansas City, Key West, Anchorage, Alaska, you let them know. Yep. Go to the website, call them, tell them it's showing in their town, and word of mouth is how we're getting this movie out there.
Oh, this is amazing, man. And honestly, they didn't expect it to do the wonderful things that it's doing, right, in the box office and stuff like that. So,
it's doing all right for itself. Yeah. We got a small independent documentary here.
Yeah.
Those in general don't catch a lot of heat, but this one has a story that everyone seems to be really excited about.
Oh yeah.
And so in cities that aren't Providence, where they have no skin in the game, they are selling out theaters. That's wonderful.
Amazing.
So any help we can get from anybody who wants to spread the word, it's very, very appreciated.
Absolutely. And we're all about promoting here and inspiring others. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing. The Jmack Experience Podcast, episode 92. Tape Out is in the building. Tape Art, actually. Michael Townsend. Did I pronounce it right?
That's correct.
I have a problem with pronunciation.
No.
We're going to get into the intro real quick, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Jmack Experience Podcast. This show is for motivational purposes only. However, we will not be politically correct, but our goal is to inspire those who listen and watch the show. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to follow us at the Jmack Experience Podcast and email us if you would like to be a guest on our platform at the Jmack Experience Podcast at gmail.com. Peace.
All right, I want to give you another round of applause. Thank you so much once again. We truly appreciate it. This is truly inspiring, I'll be honest, because when I went to the theater, I didn't really expect it to be as good as it was. I'm going to be honest with you. You hear a documentary, right? And you're like, you don't know what to expect. Sometimes you see documentaries just talking. But the way that they put it together, it was amazing is what I want to say.
So we got to give a shout out to the filmmaker. His name's Jeremy Workman. He is a documentary filmmaker. He has a body of work that includes a lot of movies about artists.
Yes.
So he's got a real specialty, real knack for taking on artists, and especially ones that are like a little weird, a little compulsive, a little obsessive, and making them accessible.
Right.
And he, with this particular movie, had our documentation to use. So he had a treasure trove to work from, and he did his magic from that.
So before we get into all that, I like to start from the very beginning, right? So, for those out there who are not familiar with who you are, what's your name and where are you from?
Sure. My name is Michael Townsend. I live right here in Providence, Rhode Island. My art, my profession is as a tape artist. So that is what it sounds like. I make art out of tape. You may have seen one around town sometime in the last 3 decades. If you've ever seen a large tape drawing on a building and you're like, wow, I really like that. And then you came back a day later and it was gone, that was probably our work.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. See, this documentary, I recommend it not only because you're here, because it put me onto a lot of different things, which I didn't even know what tape art was until I watched the documentary. I'm like, they do art off of actual tape, like duct tape and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is different.
So as a medium, shout out to Tape Art in Providence.
Shout outs to
It was invented here in Providence 35 years ago. Tape art right now, if you were to Google it, hit it on Instagram, you would see a wide range of tape art, but know that medium was started right here.
Amazing.
So I moved to Providence in 1989 as a student. I fell in love with the city immediately. At that time, more of a ghost town.
Right.
Saturday night downtown Providence, it is a blank slate.
It's different, right?
Very different. No people, not a lot of activity. And we found that by working collaboratively drawing with tape, we can draw on buildings. And if we took them down every 24 hours, we built up trust with everybody. So everybody knows, like, oh, I don't like that drawing, but I know it's going to be gone.
Well, to speak on that, I'm originally from New York City. You know, we come from the graffiti side of things. So that you're going to jail, you're getting arrested. It's even a felony now. Back in the day, in the 80s stuff, it used to be like a misdemeanor, which slap on the wrist. Now you can get a felony. Like, it's serious.
You absolutely can.
Yeah, so like this is different where you just said like you're not going to get any criminal charges because it's just tape. If it worst comes to worst, you just take it down, right?
Right. So technically it falls into the definition of graffiti.
Really?
But because you're defacing buildings.
Gotcha, okay.
But because of its temporary and gentle nature, we were able to sort of get better at it.
You found the loophole?
You found the loophole.
Yeah.
Better, faster, bigger. And because we had time to practice, we got to the point where people were paying us to do it.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Now, before we get into all that, what inspired you? I know it's probably started as, you know, when you were young. Yeah. What inspired you more or less to want to become an artist overall?
I think the specific thought like, oh, I will become an artist is nothing that really crossed my mind ever. Okay. I was just very fortunate enough during the course of my life to have adults, especially starting in high school, who were able to sort of like peel me away from certain types of rebel rousing to the right rebel rousing. Right. So, and art gave me the means to put all my energy into something that sort of was satisfying. Tape art allows me to sort of like roam around a city, look at buildings, be like, I'm going to improve that building and cause chaos, but gentle chaos. Right. So I still able to scratch that itch, but without, undermining myself.
Absolutely. But my thing is more like, you know how we usually start in class as a little kid, doodling and stuff like that. Were you like a doodler? Did you like paint or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I was definitely a doodler. I loved just sort of illustration type stuff. So in high school, I was like a human Xerox machine.
Gotcha.
You put a picture in front of me, you're like, draw that, but with pencil. Draw that with pen. So I had that skill, but that is more that's more on the crafts side of things. Like that's it's a skill.
Standard.
You can learn it, and it's admirable. It's admirable to have those skills, but it's not until you're given the challenge of working with different mediums and things you don't know how to do,
right? And
fail, and just get bigger. Providence played a big role in that because the abandoned buildings that were dominated sort of downtown and north of downtown from the late 80s and early 90s were my laboratories.
Right.
So I had these spaces that I could go into and do tape art. I could do sculpture installations. I could play with those spaces, and it really informed my methods and ideas about what art could be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the echo effect of all of that will lead us ultimately to the secret ball apartment.
Absolutely. So more or less like until I seen the new documentary, I didn't know that, like I said before, you can create the art after actual tape. Like when exactly, do you remember like when exactly was your first project that you did that it kind of like sparked it for you, that you did a big mural, sort of say a tape art, and you're like, you know what, I really want to continue to do this?
Man, I can tell you the exact moment that I had that exact thought. Okay. So 3 years into doing tape art, I was in New Zealand actually, and a company in Cleveland, Ohio called and said, hey, we want to fly you to Cleveland, Ohio to make one of your murals. I was like, okay, this sounds like I've got some traction with the art.
You're making things happen.
Right. Yeah. So they fly me and my friends to Cleveland, Ohio, and they give us a skyscraper. And they're like, okay, here's your building.
A huge skyscraper.
They give us a skyscraper. And then they give us a 40-foot wooden extension ladder. And so I'm like, okay, so our mural is now officially 40 feet high. And back in the 90s, the way we used to make murals is we would do 24 to 30 hours of straight work. So you show up at 8 a.m. and you draw to 8 a.m. You show up at 8 a.m. and you draw to like 1 p.m. the next day.
Wow.
And it was
that's intense.
It's super intense. And this is the performance piece part of it. And then you would leave it up for 24 hours and take it down.
Right.
So I was doing a drawing called Egypt. I'm in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. I'm on the very top of a 40-foot wooden extension ladder. This is the summer of 1992.
Are you afraid of heights?
I'm not afraid of heights.
Oh, thank God.
And I had that moment. I had the moment where I was like, you know what? I love this. I want more of this.
Yeah.
This, I want the danger. I want the challenge. I want the public interaction. I want to travel. I want to be with my friends. I want to like make beautiful drawings. And all those things were happening at that exact moment.
For one skyscraper project.
Yeah, that's the one that
amazing.
really moved me deeply.
Yeah.
And I had it just as you described it. I had that moment where I was like, I'm going to continue to do this.
That's amazing. At that time, this is the 90s?
This is early 90s. Yep.
Early 90s.
Early
right?
90s,
Bring
yeah.
us back. Now, how do you choose more or less the location? I know that you were like next to downtown at the time, and then you had like it was an abandoned building that you were all living in, right? When you first started, before you get to the mall, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. So before we get to the mall, our art friends and such all lived in big industrial mill buildings.
Mill building.
So the mill buildings are these large, like 4 or 5 story brick and glass buildings. They were all built in the mid to late 1800s. And Providence, in its history, some cities had enough money to tear them down. They're very expensive to get rid of. But Providence has always been like just poor enough that they couldn't tear them down. But it takes a lot of money just to make them usable for businesses or
Right.
condos. So they end up being empty. And if you're lucky, you get a slum landlord who's like, I'm going to fill these buildings with the only people who would put up with my nonsense, which are the artists.
Oh, that's smart.
So
on his end.
when it's good. It's good. So Fort Thunder is the name of the artist collective that I was spending most of my time with.
Yeah.
That is 10,000 square feet with 10 artists. So you can start to do the math there.
Wow,
Everyone's got about 1,000 square feet to play with. And our rent was under $200.
No way.
Yes. So what's important here, what's important in this equation is that you have artists who are not spending all of their time making money to pay their rent. So what are they spending their time on? Making art.
And being creative.
And I cannot emphasize enough how critical that is, especially for young artists who are trying to like carve a path, start their careers. Making art, like becoming an artist is tough because no one pays you to get good at it.
Absolutely.
So you have to spend your own time and your own money to become the best you can possibly be. And Providence, for a sweet period of time, mid-90s, sort of mid-2000s, had a bunch of these spaces that hundreds and hundreds of artists lived and worked with. Emphasis, lived and worked. Because it wasn't like you paid rent someplace and then had another studio space. It was all one big sloppy pile, and it was cheap.
That's actually could work to your advantage, though, right? Because you're always creating.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. And all the artists that I live with went on to have like pretty decent careers, and they're all still in the arts.
Yeah.
And so to move to Providence in the late 90s as an artist was effectively like getting a grant from the city because you were living so cheap.
Right.
Like, here's several $1,000s a year that you would have paid in rent that is now yours, so you can just become good. Yes.
Now, you said that you went to New Zealand, right? Or you
Yeah.
were in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Did you travel often at this time, or you stayed pretty much local in Providence?
Providence will be my home base for hopefully for the
You really
foreseeable
love
future.
Providence.
I love
like,
Providence. So I grew up in a military
So cool.
family.
Yeah.
So I grew up traveling all over the United States.
Yeah.
So when I think about my place in the United States, it's like it's the whole darn thing.
Right.
A lot of kids who grew up in military families, like when they quote unquote settle down, they get to sort of like choose where they're from.
Exactly.
And I just love Providence. I love the people. I love the weirdness. I love the struggle. I just, it's treated me so well.
Right.
I like that the size of the city, that it's small enough that if you want to make change, like you want to really, really, really like push back, you as a single person can create enough noise to actually catch people who make decisions ears. You can actually create change in this city.
And the good thing is everything's so close, right? Like
Yes.
we're only 100 miles long, so it's
Yeah,
like you
absolutely.
can get here in 10 minutes, you get there in 10 minutes,
Yep.
you go to the beach in 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's like perfect. Okay, so now I want to get to more or less, the secret mall.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what made you decide? Because I know you were there when they were still building it, correct?
Oh, yeah.
You were seeing the whole process.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
stuff that
yeah.
They showed. Now we don't want to give too much away because you guys definitely gotta go check it out. But like, what made you decide? Like what made you decide I want to live in the mall? Like that's basically what I'm getting to.
Okay. So those beautiful mill spaces I'm talking about, those places that are like the unicorn live workspaces for artists.
Right.
In the late 90s, after the mall has been finished, there was a spirit of development in Rhode Island. What that means is that the mall had received one of the largest tax breaks in Rhode Island's history. It was one of the largest construction projects in Rhode Island's history.
Oh, okay.
And so when it opens, other developers come into our city and they're like, okay, what's next? We want some sweet tax breaks. We want permissions. And they came to our neighborhood where our mill buildings are. And they looked around and they go, oh, looks like nobody's using this. The nobody meaning 300 to 500 artists.
Wow.
And they said, we've got an idea. Why don't we knock down 13 acres of mill buildings? Like, let's just level it all. And we'll replace it with a small strip mall and a grocery store.
So they were going to do another mall right next to it.
They wanted to do a little baby strip mall. And this is ludicrous on a lot of levels. Now, the first of them being, don't rip down old mill buildings that are usable.
Historical landmarks.
Exactly. Too. Like they're gorgeous buildings. They're very useful. They can be used for other things. Yeah. Don't just turn them into parking lots.
And then the people that are in them, that's the main thing.
That's the main thing, right? So then you're going to lose this cultural center. And at the middle of this whole plan was the building that I lived in. Now, this set off between 2000 and 2002 a big fight. And the fight was to save Eagle Square. Right. And the fight is, let's save these historic mill buildings and maybe, if we're lucky along the way, save some of the places we live and work in. All right. We failed to save where we live and work. They evicted all of us.
Everybody had to go.
Everyone had to go.
Is this like a quick process? Or like, how now it takes 2 to 3 months?
It was quick.
Really?
Like in less than a year, all of us this is from many buildings. They're like, okay, y'all are out of here. Yeah, and
that sucks.
It sucks. Yeah. And then several different groups went into fight mode. Right. In my fight mode, I am working with the city, the planning department, and the developers, and attending the meetings, trying to be a voice of reason, trying to sort of save the buildings that are in Eagle Square. And we managed to save, collectively, we saved 3 of the largest structures. And they're still gorgeous to this day. Right. We failed to save my own building. So my own home, my favorite place I've ever lived, just gone. Diminished. Reduced to a pile of rubble. Oh, no. Now, in the course of all of this, as we know we're about to lose our home, there was this conversation, I remember at Fort Thunder, where the phrase, lose a home, gain a home. The mall is 1.3 million square feet. It's an 11-story high building. It is a true monster. It's a spaceship of a building. Life, right? It is huge. Yeah. And we had that conversation. We're like, you know what? What if we were able to like carve out a home inside that mall? So the seed was planted in around 2000. So this is years before we actually do the deed.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so hold on, because the mall opened in 1999, right?
Yep, August 99.
Okay, so now 2000, the idea sparks, right?
Yes.
I'm just trying to follow the timeline.
Yeah, 2000, the idea sparks, and we are fighting City Hall at this point to try to save our own home.
Right.
We lose it. We lose
completely.
We lose it. Knocked to the ground. Yeah. I get moved to another mill building, evicted. Moved to another mill building, evicted.
So you're just jumping around.
Jumping around.
Like almost homeless at this moment.
We're not grounded, shall we say, during this time period.
What do they call those, is it couch jumpers?
Couch surfing.
Yeah, couch surfing. Yeah.
So we do find a good studio space in a old historic horse barn. So we've got sort of we end up with something that's there's no heat, but at least it's stable enough. And around 2003, we hear this ad on the radio. And the ad literally says, "Wouldn't it be great to live in the mall?" And my art partners and I are like, that sounds like an invitation.
That was
the invitation. It's like, it looks like apparently green lights have been given to us. Flares are being shot in the air. And we decided that the first thing we need to do is go spend a week in the mall. We're just going to go for 1 week and test the water. So sort of a reconnaissance mission.
This is like Mission Impossible.
This
right?
is right. This is like exactly.
Tom Cruise with the secret agents.
Yeah.
Like,
We set up the rules. We're like, once you enter that building, you can't leave the building. Everyone's, and the first big problem you're going to have is, where do you sleep?
That's the biggest.
That's the biggest problem.
Another one that wasn't my question. I asked later, but like, how do you like take shower, brush your teeth, stuff like that?
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna wing it for 1 week. You know, maybe if you're lucky, you'll find a way to do that while you're there.
Exactly.
You got bathrooms. You can dab around the important parts.
Yeah.
You can keep your basic hygiene up. But
you'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out as you go. Yeah. The sleeping part though is solved by a memory of watching the mall get made.
Right.
So I watched that mall get made. I had in the late 90s taken up, I'm not going to use the word running, but jogging. And I used to jog down Harris Avenue towards the mall. And because of my speed, I had a nice luxurious view of the mall's construction as they're making it.
So you have a photographic memory, right?
I have a deep interest in architecture.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I've explored a lot of abandoned buildings.
Right.
And when you do that, like, there's no maps. There's no like wayfinding, any sense of meaning about what any particular room or area is. You have to sort of figure that out on your own. Find it.
There's no map. You're like,
right. You're just like,
you should have been doing that before YouTube. You would have been viral a long time ago. Because people are doing that now, like
all the time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So now you're running down Harris Ave. Yep. You kind of remember like how it was being built.
Yeah.
And then that's what I want to get to. Like, how did you know the pinpoints?
There were, as it's getting built, you can sort of picture clearly what stores are and what the hallways that support the stores are. You can clearly picture what the parking garage is. You can kind of picture what the storage is. And then there was this space that didn't seem to fit into any of my categories.
Right.
And then they started putting the skin of the mall on, and I watched them build this huge, like 9-story cinder block wall, and then a couple weeks later build another one right next to it. I was like, that's really weird. Like, why isn't
I got you thinking.
Yeah, why isn't that a single wall? Like, why is that 2 gigantic walls? And why is there space between them? So that space becomes our private entrance, and it points right at that space that we couldn't figure out what its purpose was. Right. And there's our 1-2 punch for finding what will become the secret mall apartment.
This is amazing. Now, how did you feel, like your first thoughts when you like finally moved into that space, like, and you discovered it more or less? Because it's like Indiana Jones, right? Like finding a treasure. It's like, like I got it. Like I was right about my intuition. Right?
Yeah. So what we feel is a sense of manifest, which means that during the several years that we're fighting developers, they keep bringing up this one point over and over and over again. And the point is this idea that if you find an underutilized space, you have a responsibility to develop it. This is their worldview. That's what keeps them in business. And that's how they view like an empty lot between houses, or a house that looks a little derelict, or in our case, these big mill spaces. And so when we found this space, that voice is in our head.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, what do we have here? This appears to be an underutilized space. Therefore, what is our responsibility? We have to develop this thing. We have to we learn from the best. Yeah. So we gotta get in there.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So now you're in there.
Yeah.
What was like the daily routines for you guys, like inside the apartment? It's funny. I left my Grand Theft Auto. Was that the only game you played, by the way? San Andreas?
That's it.
The only game.
That's the only game
2?
For years.
Wow, but they're coming out with a PlayStation 6 now. This is.
Grand Theft. Yeah, they delayed it.
Are you still a fan of Grand Theft Auto?
Huge.
Yeah.
I'm actually really relieved that they delayed it to next year.
Yeah, right.
I know it's really disappointing for everybody, but we need a little more time to get our acts together before that game comes out.
So do you still play?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I definitely got.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm waiting for 6. But
yeah, because when I seen the game on the table, I'm like, I wonder if they had any other games like 2K. Or
just that one.
Just one game.
The whole team, all 8 of us, like that's the game we loved to play.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, we had Carl Johnson jacked up. Like we had because we had it just for years. Like when security took our PlayStation,
right? That
was like the one thing that we were because they took the memory card.
Yeah,
just give us back nothing's backed up to a cloud. Yeah, so 4 years of progress was just on that memory card. It's gone.
Oh my god! Wait, but before I get to that, so like, what was like I was saying before, like what was the daily routine, like more or less, like when you were inside this apartment? I mean, it took a while to build it, right? Before we get to all this.
Well, that's the thing so when you see this movie, you're going to see the processes of us actually building this space. So there is documentation of us committing the deed.
Right.
Now, that said, from that point on, the goal is to be as boring as possible.
Low key.
So the goal is, in a best case scenario, your goal is like lunch and video games, or like spending time in your computer planning things. So a lot of planning happened in that space.
Right.
Because in our life outside of the Secret Mall apartment, we're working on some really big projects. We're doing a September 11th memorial that is consuming the majority of our time. It is very, very emotional. Yeah. That project, in short, was we were going down in Manhattan and we were doing life-size silhouette drawings of every single fireman and every single airline passenger that died at the World Trade Center.
That's a big project.
It's a big project. And before we draw every person, we're scouring the internet and we're looking for as much biographical information about them as we can. So we don't just draw them. We want to like know them as much as
exactly what you're about, which I found that very interesting.
We want to know them. We want to have an emotional connection to them. But we thought this project would just last a couple like 1 or 2 years.
We're talking
5 years. 5 years. And so we've got that going on. We're working. We're doing a lot of drawings at the Hospital Children's Hospital. Yeah. So we are weekly or up to 3 times a week going and working directly with patients and their families and the staff, doing tape art in their spaces, murals on request. That means that the patient literally says, draw me this. Yeah. And then we draw them that thing.
You would definitely give it back to the community. A lot of philanthropy work.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's the tape art allows us to behave that way.
Right.
Which means that if we have that impulse to sort of like memorialize somebody or try to like lessen someone's load or do some sort of healing art type thing, tape art gives us the freedom to go into those types of spaces.
That's a beautiful thing, because I feel like right now we need that the most too. You know, like there's rarely anybody really doing things like that. I mean, there is. I'll give credit.
Yeah, they're out there. They're out there. They have a tendency to be very cool. First of all, they're out there. Right. The good people out there doing the healing artwork, doing like just the charity work, are doing their thing. In a lot of cases, though, those people don't share their work.
Absolutely.
And in some cases, they can't share their work.
They don't want to brag.
They don't want to brag, or they're working with populations that can't be documented. Absolutely. That's a big one. Yeah. Or you know, they want to sort of just keep it on the low down. And you know, but to your point, we need those people more than ever. If you have any impulse in your body to sort of like pursue those types of activities, follow it. Just do it.
Now, let me ask you this, back to the apartment.
Yeah.
How did you keep the apartment clean? Because the section that you were in, there must have been a lot of debris and and that was another question I had too. Did anybody ever get sick from like the air pollution? You know, it's bad when you're breathing all that in, more or less, you know?
Definitely.
So how did you keep it like somewhat clean?
So, something we did not document was the first 9 or 10 months of cleaning it out.
Oh, so that's what I wanted to get
We
to.
brought, every time we went in, you had to bring in 1 or 2 gallons of water.
Wow.
So we had the mop. So the first couple of months, we are bringing debris out of the space.
Right.
We are sort of filling up buckets and backpacks with just junk and bringing them out and dumping them in construction sites or alongside the road. And then we are using our mop and buckets and all the water we're bringing in, and we're making it as like
clean as possible.
before the first piece of furniture ever gets introduced.
So you definitely earned your spot living there for the years that you
I
did a
think
good
so.
deed. Like you clean it out. You weren't getting paid for that. Like
No.
right, we could put it like that. If you want
We
to
could,
flip it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Get a free cleaning service. Yeah.
So you take all the stuff out. It took you 9 months.
It's you know, it wasn't. It was we're during that period of time. Like, you know, we're getting to it when we can.
Right.
You know, cleaning things out. Not the most inspirational stuff, but it's got to get done.
That's the toughest part about it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So you finally get it all clean, right?
Yep.
How did you deal with the noise and like mall staff and unexpected visitors? Like these are some of the questions I want to get to, like while you were there, you know?
So we're off the radar.
Okay,
Now remember, this is a very, very big building.
Yeah.
I'm willing to say that there are spaces in that building that haven't been stepped foot in since the building was made.
To this day, right?
To this day.
Yeah.
Like we're only in one of them, but I am positive there are spaces. I'm sure there are, you know, maintenance people or security people are like, no, we've stepped on it. It's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think there are still
I'm surprised you didn't explore more different places.
Oh, we did.
Oh, you tried?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Because when I go to the movie theaters, I always take the back way. You know that back tunnel?
Yeah.
On the elevator. And I noticed even when I worked there, I'm like, I always say the same thing. I'm like, because I was there for over a decade working. I'm like, there's so many little, like you said, like different spots in this mall that people probably don't even know about.
Yeah, and it's just infrastructure. You know, a lot of stuff is truly functional, but you know, there is a point at a certain scale of building where you can't account for every square footage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So basically, like nobody would hear you guys, no commotion.
Nope.
Where you had like the perfect spot.
We did our sound tests.
Yeah.
We made sure that, you know, at our loudest, no one could hear us.
Right.
And then we could, you know, and vice versa. Like we made sure we could hear at what point we could hear people coming.
Now, one thing I want to say is this. You guys, again, were definitely ahead of your time because you actually documented everything with a camera. This is before smartphones. You know what I mean?
It is. When I got arrested, it was a couple months after the iPhone was introduced. That gives you a sense of where we are on the technological like scale.
You had a camcorder, right?
Yeah. So we had this little tiny digital camera. So
it still works.
It still works.
Can't believe it.
Yeah. So this little guy is called a Pentax Optio. So you got to keep in mind that our team has been working on the September 11th project for 2 years before we start the mall project.
Oh, so that was before the
right. And then throughout the first 3 years of the mall project. Right. So for 2 years, this team of artists are getting very comfortable with going down to Manhattan and doing what is technically graffiti in broad daylight on the buildings of Manhattan and documenting those, I put this in air quotes, crimes.
Right.
So we are very used to the process and the rhythm of documenting things. And so by the time we start doing the mall project, we're practiced.
Yeah, you're already polished.
We're polished. We
got experience.
We had this camera in our, you know, and I'm doing a lot of the, you know, the self documentation because right now it's very normal to point a camera at yourself.
Oh yeah.
But back then that was not the norm at all.
I don't want to cut you off, but you like knew the selfie before selfie was invented, right? Like, I'm like, he's getting selfie angles when I'm watching. Again, I don't want to get to
selfies. Yeah, selfie video, like long form selfie video, where, you know, but an important sort of like note is that the editor for this movie made the tiny observation that in all of the footage we shot, not once did we ever look at the camera, which is fascinating because
movie world.
Because we're not shooting for an audience. We're not looking down the barrel of the camera and being like, hey, you, who are the receiving end of this message.
We're living in the mall.
Exactly. We're living in the mall making this thing happen. So, you know, but so when you watch the movie, you'll maybe have these small moments where it feels a little voyeuristic because it's real. Like it is raw. Yeah, what's being caught on film because we are not performing. We are just documenting in real time exactly what's going on.
And I'm assuming that there was so much more footage, right? Like that obviously it doesn't make the cut. They got to slim it all down.
You got to slim it down. But Jeremy Workman is first and foremost just a world-class editor. Like he is top of the mountain. Yeah. So I walked away with the absolute trust that anything that was truly worth showing has been shown.
Right. So you're happy with the way it came out?
I'm happy with the way it came out.
I like
yeah.
that. Because there's some people that do documentaries where they have a documentary done on their life or like a biography, and they're like,
Yeah.
I didn't really like the movie, it sucked, and this and that. So that's good that you actually like how everything came out. I like that.
Yeah.
How did you manage to keep the secret mall apartment like a secret for so long? That's basically
Okay.
like, yeah.
So I think the thing that you just mentioned, this idea that we're pre smartphones.
Okay.
I think that plays a pretty critical role in this.
Absolutely.
Because cameras now, when you take a picture, the assumption is that that photograph is now part of the brain trust.
Right.
It is forever shareable. It is measurable.
It has a location.
It has a location.
Yeah.
It's going to the cloud. Like, you take a photograph on your phone, it's not staying on your phone.
No.
Like, even if you don't share it with someone directly, it's going up to a cloud. It's being measured, it's being read, it's being scanned.
Right.
So it is a very, very, very different game in regards to the idea of sharing. Now, in regards to the idea of security, we are all, not to be like spooked out, but like we're all participating in like a gigantic security net.
Yeah.
All of us. And
Right.
it's sort of by accident, but we're doing it, which means that someone in the parking lot, some rando in 2025, if we were doing the same thing, would point a camera at us with carrying a couch and be like, who are these weirdos?
What's going on?
Carrying a
here?
couch, and post it innocently enough. They'd be like, oh, I'm in Providence Place Mall and I'm seeing these guys do this and this and this. And that creates a record of our activity.
Right.
And so
gotcha.
between 2003 and 2007, we're still living in that last tiny window where you're not going to accidentally get like narked out by somebody.
This was perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
The artists that are doing it all, are relying on these cameras that are dead ends.
Right.
The footage goes into it, and then the footage goes from there onto a computer, onto a hard drive, and that's it. It ends there.
Now, how did you feel like more or less when everything was exposed? Like that moment that it finally happened?
Yeah, I mean, what happens in that moment is that you have a responsibility to share the story. So what it means is that that's 4 years of our life. It's very private. It's not supposed to be shared with anybody. But as soon as you get caught, it turns into a narrative. And you are the author of that narrative. And so you get to make decisions about what you want to include and exclude. And so there's a mad rush in the first week or so to try to tune that message.
Yeah.
And there was a deep interest internationally about this story.
Wow, this went all over across the United States.
All over the world. The world.
Oh,
So some countries and they want to know about it for different reasons. So for example, Norway, radio interviews from Norway, because Norway is obsessed with our homeless population.
Okay.
They're like, how can a country that has so much resource and so much space have such a huge homeless population? And so they're looking at the story through that lens. Right. India, obsessed with it. Apparently this played on national television in India for a week. And I had someone from India explain to me that the reason was because malls in India are unique, because in India, there are very, very clear kind of social castes. Right. Everyone has a place.
Yeah.
There's the rich, there's the medium, there's the
yeah,
poor, and then
really
there's the
well.
poor of poor.
Yeah.
But the mall is a space that in principle, everyone's allowed to go into. So all of a sudden, it's all mixed up.
It raises red flags.
Right. It's messing up the whole thing, because it's raw commerce, and raw commerce in its best form is saying, hey, as long as you got the money, we got something for you.
Right.
And the malls are, internationally are spaces of aspiration, which means that you're going there with the invitation that you can become the bigger, better version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You just got to buy the right thing and you're closer to nirvana.
So we could say that this shocked the world.
It shocked the world. Yeah.
Now, what about your living there? Did it affect you at all mentally, emotionally, or you were just ecstatic to be there? It was just a fun time for you.
Yeah.
You didn't go through any suffering.
No.
How could they live in the mall? That must be torture.
No suffering.
Yeah.
Now, to help visualize this more, we are not there full time. This
Okay,
is not our
my question.
only
Yeah.
residence.
Okay.
As I mentioned, we have a studio space. The studio space is, like I said, this space with no there's no heat. There's
Right.
it's that space, the hottest I've ever been in my life inside, that space. The coldest I've ever been in my life inside,
Yeah.
that space.
So this is more like a clubhouse, you could say, right?
It's
like
more
your hangout spot.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna refer to it more as like it's a sanctuary.
Right. Okay.
So
okay.
it is the space that our team can retreat to at
Right.
any time. That is the most private space inside of the most private space.
Gotcha.
Like a
Super exclusive.
Yeah, it's like a privacy.
Like VIP.
At
Yeah.
100% VIP for 8 people. This is it.
Now, what did you learn about yourself through this journey? Like this whole time that you were there, like anything that like came to your mind, like I can't believe we actually did this, stuff like that. Like, did you learn anything new about yourself through this whole process?
Yeah, we were the sort of adventure we were headed towards was the mall when it was bought while we were there. So we were there for 2 years when the mall exchanged hands.
Okay.
And so a new owner bought us. Like we were part of the purchase. They just didn't know it.
Oh, it's like a bonus.
It's
right?
a bonus, a little tiny bonus.
Secret bonus.
Nice,
A secret
clean
bonus.
little room without their knowing. And the thing that we were becoming interested in is the idea of if we stay in this space longer, and is there a moment where we could start to let the mall define us as in our entirety? That means like everything we wear, the jobs that we get in the mall, the eating, own the mall. Is there some sort of plateau where we are fully representing the mall in its entirety? Like you had that journey to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
You're like
I lived
you
at the
lived
mall.
there. You lived at the mall.
Almost
Right.
10 years working there.
That's
so
right.
Like,
So you worked there.
hung out there.
You used the resources of the mall.
Yes.
You knew the internet of the
I
mall.
knew everybody in the mall.
You knew everybody in the mall. Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're actually like a lot closer to that than we were. Sort of headed in that direction, which for us
Yeah.
was a big U-turn because we just we're not actively part of the culture. Now that's I love
like
the
you
mall.
pretty much don't exist. Right? 'Cause
Right,
you're
we
so
we
low
just
key with it.
exactly
Yeah, yeah.
we were ghosts in the
Yeah,
system.
Exactly.
And the
okay.
question is like, what happens if we decide to become like active participants?
And people know who you are.
And
now.
people
They're
know
like,
who we are.
Where are these guys from?
from?
We've never seen them before.
Exactly. So that's the journey we wanted to go on.
Oh,
And
so you already
unfortunately,
had other plans.
we had huge plans.
Gotcha, gotcha. How long do you think overall you would have lasted this whole thing? You would have stretched it as far as you could.
I
or you
think
would've
I
said,
think we could have done another couple years. Now
Wow.
that said, all of that said,
You never know.
it's really good we were caught when we were caught, which means that we were caught right before we ramped it up even further. Like we were on the verge of some like big changes that would have made us look like we were out of control.
Oh god, then it would have been too far.
Yeah, it would have
right?
been like
Yeah.
this is too far. They got
Yeah.
operational plumbing.
Oh,
We've gone
you
too
would-
far because we were probably about like 2 or 3 months away from operational plumbing in our
Oh
own
my God.
space.
Cooking in the mall with a stove.
We already were doing
refrigerator.
cooking. The fridge would have gotten bigger. Like this, everything would have indicated that
Yeah.
the mall had lost control also.
Yeah,
So by
yeah.
being caught when we were caught, I feel like everyone seemed like they were doing their job. Like the mall caught us red-handed
Right.
as opposed to like fully settled in.
Yeah.
And we were caught before it looked like we also were just like pushing the boundaries
Yeah.
way too far.
So more or less, we could agree. Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's
whatever,
like-
we'll take that. We were here for a little
We
bit.
were set
whatever.
free.
So now the documentary, right?
Yeah.
How did the idea? Because we're talking almost what? We're talking like almost 20 years
Oh,
later.
yeah,
How
close
did this idea come about after all these years?
After all these years, by accident,
Accident,
which
okay.
means that we weren't looking to have a documentary made.
Right.
I was in Athens, Greece, doing a tape art job. I was doing a big tape art drawing on the top of an opera house, brand new
Nice.
opera house. On top of the opera house is this glass structure. And so I'm drawing the outside of this glass structure and I'm looking inside and I see a YouTube superstar. Her name is Lily. She's the
Shout out to
world's,
Lily.
yeah, Lily's amazing. She's the world's best domino toppler. So she
Okay.
sets up like 50, 60, 100,000 dominoes.
Oh, and it's like those videos that you see it all go.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
in
yeah.
chain reaction.
So you've ever seen ones that are like the best of the best? They're
Yeah,
probably Lily's.
She's wow.
Yeah. So you'll find, if you type in Lily Domino, you'll find her on YouTube.
You know what's funny? I think the Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. You remember when he's making breakfast?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Rube Goldberg machine thing is like incredible.
That's great. So Lily.
So Lily's there. And I'm like, there's that famous Lily. And there's this guy following her around with a camera. That's Jeremy Workman. And so I start chatting Jeremy up. He's from the United States, so we're two Americans in Greece. Just,
automatic connection.
Automatic connection. And I find out, obviously he's a filmmaker, but his name rings a bell. And I'm like, I have seen one of your films. So this film called The World Beneath Your Feet, he documented a dude who walked every single street of New York City, all 5 boroughs over the course of 12 years. You can picture that. Literally every single street.
I gotta check that out. What's it called again?
The World Beneath Your Feet.
I gotta check that out.
I love this movie. So I'm meeting a filmmaker that I like. Right. I'm watching him make a documentary about Lily. And so I get to watch his process. I get to watch him with the subject. And so my trust levels are pretty high right now. His trust levels of me are pretty low because I told him about the mall. And he's like, that's not true.
Yeah, he didn't find it.
He didn't put it right. So he's like,
yeah, I don't know about that.
He went back to his hotel. He Googled it. He came back the next day. He's like, oh my God.
This is real.
This is real.
Yeah, okay.
So he finished his documentary with Lily. That documentary is called Lily Topples the World. You can find it on streaming. And he then called us and said, hey, I'd be interested in following up and seeing if we could do a documentary about the Secret Mall apartment.
What year was this more or less?
This would have been 2001.
When you met Jeremy?
I met him in 2019.
Oh, that's what I met him. About how the film.
Yeah, I met him in 2019. Okay. Takes him a year or two to finish up Lily Topples the World.
Right.
Contacts us. And then it's a 2-year process to make the movie. Yeah.
I like it. That was my next question.
Yeah.
So how did it feel when you start filming and you reliving the experience and seeing it all come back into play? Like, what was that moment like for you? Like, wow, this is amazing? Or like...
Sort of. I mean, the thing that's exciting for me is that Jeremy took the time to get all the other artists on board. So when I keep saying the team and so forth, there are 7 other artists. There's a total of 8 of us. Right. And the story that he's trying to capture on film is only really good if you have all 8 of us. Absolutely. You have our representation, you have our voice, you have our viewpoints. The story is only really good if you show the Secret Mall apartment, but also all the other artwork we're doing at the time, because when you weave them all together, you can start to get a hint about our motivations or our, what drives us, different lifestyles,
backgrounds, cultures. Okay.
And then Jeremy also does all the heavy lifting of coming to Providence and finding the right talking heads that are going to give us the information we need about how the mall was built, the decisions that were made, Eagle Square, the loss of our home. It's a lot of work.
Like, he really put his all into it. That's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't just make it the mall apartment. Like, he wanted to cover all bases, right? Yes. And then I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys lost touch to years. People have families, they move on, or they move to other states. So for him to get it all together, and then by the grace of God, everybody's still alive, correct?
Still alive. Everyone's still alive.
Things happen in life, right?
Oh, totally. And everyone in that team, still artists, still art educators. Amazing. But we, 3 of them moved to New York City. The rest of us are here in Providence. But we don't have the same space to work together anymore. So we're all friends. Yeah. But it's been a long time. Life, right? People got kids. People got wives. People got all right. So
he covered all bases.
He
did.
Back
to what I was saying. Like, once you see it gradually coming together. Yeah. I know they made a new model, all that stuff. Like,
yeah.
At that moment, you're probably blown away. I'm assuming
it is. Amazing to have a reunion inside of a film.
That's the good
which is incredible. It's interesting for me, for anyone who has sort of lost touch with me or what my life's been like. To have a documentary made about you means that you can be like, all right, check this out. This covers at least 4 years of my life.
Absolutely. This wasn't for nothing, right?
Right. This is here you go. But the thing that for me that's been the most satisfying, like as far as having that sense that like, yeah, you know what, this was totally worth it, is in Q&A. So when this movie opened at the mall, I did 26 Q&As in 4
I'm
days.
so mad I missed the opening.
The opening. Oh, it was
I
bonkers.
went a week later.
Oh, it was so good. Still good a week later.
Yeah.
But the opening weekend,
Yeah.
it was divine.
Yeah.
During the Q&As, and this is not just in Providence, but I got to tour with the film the year before as it was on the film festival circuit. I hear questions that indicate to me that the movie is making people think about art, the role that art plays in society, what art can and cannot be, about protest and activism, about taking a stand, about following your dreams, about the range of subjects that the movie seems to tap into are revealed in the Q&As when the questions start coming your way. And so for me, as not only a public artist, but also an art educator, that satisfies my art education brain. Because if part of my role on this planet is to get people excited about art, thinking about art, motivated. The movie is doing the heavy lifting for me. And so without me in the room, I know that somebody in Kansas City has seen this movie and had those feelings and those thoughts. And that makes me feel really good about having participated in making this movie happen.
Absolutely. You know what made it so special for me, because for years, it was like a myth. A lot of people, like I was saying before we started, people like, you know that people used to live here, right? Like every time I meet people, like customers will come to my job. And I didn't really believe it. I'm going to be honest. I'm like, nah. No way. And they're like, no, for real. They made the news, this and that. So to finally see it in real time, like, it was like I was there. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel like, you guys have to watch this movie. Like, it really, if you're like from Providence especially, it really brings you back to that time, is what I'm saying. Like,
it does.
You feel like you're like in the movie.
It's a great nostalgia trip. If you were hanging out in Providence in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, it's a great nostalgia trip for the mall, because I'm so shocked how many people in our footage see stores that they used to go to that are no longer there. They have like a really
Nordstrom, JCPenney's.
Yep, like, long gone.
Oh my God, this is
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Yep, gone.
What was the other one?
Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
And Johnny Rockets, I think, was still there, right?
I think so. And a really obscure one, the Thomas Kincaid store.
Oh my God.
On the first floor, the store with the fancy paintings.
Yeah, that is so. So let me ask you a question. Did you have any like legal or like ethical challenges in making the documentary?
Not in the making of it. So the legal ramifications happened immediately after my arrest. So the mall did stick lawyers on me for a couple months, because what they could smell was that this was a story that was worth retelling, and they wanted that to never ever happen.
Wow. So they tried to just zip it.
They tried to zip it, and they used every legal argument they could to try to make that happen.
That's they tried to make it a little bit difficult.
They made it super difficult, but we made it
happen.
We found the right representation.
So that's what I want to ask too. Like they pretty much say, like, again, I don't want to say, but they pretty much said that you were like banned for life from the mall. Are you still like, now you're able to go to? Obviously, you can go to the mall now.
Yeah, right? I can't go to the mall now. So I am unbanned from the mall. Cool. The mall's in trouble. The mall's bankrupt right now.
Yeah, I know.
They're about $255 million in the hole. Last fall, they were given a receivership. That means it's like
tables turn, right?
Yeah, so they got a financial babysitter came in. Those guys, if I understand correctly, may have reached out to Jeremy. So it's quite possible that they made the calculation that if they show the movie in the mall, that's a step towards goodwill. Absolutely. Because, my gosh, the people here in Providence know this story. They want to see it. They want to feel it. They want to like, so they made their decision first to show the movie. And then, a couple of weeks went by and they're like, oh, we should talk to Michael Townsend. And so I met with a team of maybe 7 or 9 of them.
So you were still banned at this
I was
time,
still banned once the movie, the decision to show it. So we're going towards the opening day, and I met with them at the mall and we had a long conversation. And I was like, guys, look, just let me off my leash.
Right?
Just
Give me a
unban me, and then let me draw. Like I will
Right.
draw. I will do tape art in your mall. We will take this beautiful sculpture piece that's in the movie and we'll put it in your abandoned Tiffany's on the first floor. It's still there.
Wow.
So if you go to the mall right now and you go to the first floor, it goes Apple Store, Brooks Brothers, Tiffany's, you're going to see this beautiful model of the mall. You're going to see some tape art stuff on it left and right of it.
Yeah.
And we took it down, but we did have a life-size drawing of every Secret Mall person. So all 8 of us.
Yeah.
I think you said you.
I wouldn't actually did it. So you like they had it in different places. They were actually one on the corner right by you know where Zales is and like the Macy's side. There was one there.
That was Adriana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a whole bunch of. I went with my daughter. So my daughter, we were like playing Blue's Clues, like finding all this stuff. And then they had like little it was like a little paper next to it, right, with some writing. I think that was just explaining.
Yeah.
More or less.
It explained it, and also sort of it sent you to our Instagram at Tape Art as a way to sort of connect with us. So people were direct messaging us and sending us all 8 locations, like them posing in front of each figure.
Yeah.
So
and I
that's
messed
cool.
up on that. I didn't get to do all that, but I should have just blogged it. But now the mall's really strict on that. They don't really want you like blogging in the mall now. So hopefully we can speak, see what happens with that, because people like us that are creators, we're not out here pranking and stuff like that. But we just want to document like the way you were documenting back in the day. But I guess now they see a camera and they like security's automatically on it now.
But that's every single mall in America. Yeah. So a nice gentle reminder about malls. They are not public spaces. They are private spaces, masquerading as public spaces. Every mall in America has a code of conduct, rules, and most of them say point blank, you cannot take pictures. Or film. Exactly. They also sometimes use language that clearly says, if you are not shopping, they have the right to escort you out.
Really?
So these rules are in place so they can be enforced. They are rarely enforced, but they can be enforced.
If they really want to.
If they want to. And this is a way of them.
And you know what sucks too? People ruin it for others. That's another big problem. Like, if you're going to the mall, don't do outlandish stuff. You're gonna ruin it for people like me and Michael that actually like appreciate the beauty of the architecture, and we just want to take pictures. Teachers the one you have, but there's certain places to do things, right? Like, but it ruins things for people like us. Now, if you could create another hidden space somewhere, what would it be?
Well, that's a paradox of a question, of course, because it would be hidden. So
just give us an idea. But do you ever think again, like doing something like the Secret Mall apartment? That's pretty much what I'm getting.
So we are. The benchmark of the Secret Mall apartment is that it's a huge project built with no audience in mind. So that's sort of the main thing. So yes, right now we're working on a gigantic artwork that has no audience in mind. It's chewing up years of our time. It's not architectural. It's not like that. But
so we got an exclusive. I'm just trying to
get
exclusive. I like it. No, we gotta be the first to ask certain questions.
No, it's a good way to ask it. We are working on stuff, but the nice thing about not having an audience is there's no timeline.
Right.
There's no promises.
And you have like pressure, right? Like
no
it's
pressure.
Be done in September or something. Nope. What happened?
We can just take our sweet time. It could be, if things open up, we could finish in a year. Things stay the way they are right now, it's going to take us like another 5 or 6 years.
You're very I like it, like very laid back, very smooth. That's pretty cool. What advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue a career in art, but they haven't taken that step yet?
Yeah, the main thing is you got to be careful about having too much desire for affirmation. What that means is that it's odd right now compared to how I grew up making art. Because right now you could post something and then you have the illusion that your work is liked or disliked. That you can somehow measure its impact based on an algorithm. Now remember, that work that you posted is being shown to a very limited number of people. Those people are exhausted from liking things, so they're probably not going to like it. Your work, you may be making beautiful work, that you cannot rely on the internet to be your champion. So,
or let it validate.
Or let it validate what you're doing. Now, that said, the other quandary you have with using the internet is you can see everybody else's work. So all of a sudden you go online and you're like, oh, I'm not as good as that person. I'm not as good as that person. Like, even I get delighted and spooked when I see something that's so awesome on Instagram. Like, I spend very little time on the medium, but every once in a while, I'll give myself 30 seconds of scrolling. And I'll see something that blows my mind. And I have to suppress, even me, someone who's like rock solid in confidence. So long. I'll even have a millisecond. I'm like, oh boy, that's way better than anything I could ever make. So the thing I try to think about in regards to the collective arts is that you as a person, your responsibility while you're on this planet is to make as much art as you possibly can. Now, that said, you cannot make all of it. It is truly impossible. So you need everyone on the whole planet to be doing it simultaneously. I listen to your podcast and I go, yes, thank God someone's got podcasts covered and they're doing a good job. I see somebody do some like crazy spray paint work off the top of a skyscraper in Russia. I go, oh, thank gosh, that guy's got that covered. All the work, all the creativity is all part of the collective you. Like we're all in it together. You just need to be an active participant.
Absolutely. And be consistent, right?
And be consistent. Practice your craft. Like most people, the biggest mistake they make is they say the phrase, I am not an artist. And I'm here to tell you that is not true, fundamentally. When someone says that to me, what I hear is the phrase, I have not found my medium yet. And so for the person who's sitting there dabbling and drawing on a piece of paper and thinking, my drawings are terrible, I'm not good at this, that is because that is not the medium that manifests you as a person. You may be an exquisite dancer or a cook or architect. You don't.
Not everything is for everybody.
Not everything's for everybody. And all the arts effectively are interchangeable language-wise. So the people who are making music can use the same vocabulary as the people who are doing paintings. And those are like the big classic arts. All the digital work we're doing, the performance stuff that we can all do, understand that within your daily routine, there is art happening.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a matter of around the clock. It's a matter of intention. And being super, super intentional is the first step towards an artistic practice. Yeah. So
very well said.
Yeah.
I love it. We got to inspire others here. That's what we do. So what message do you hope the viewers and anybody watching takes from the film?
From the film offers a wide buffet of art ideas. And so anyone watching the film might walk away saying like, oh my God, I loved all of it. And others might walk away going, oh, well, that part over there was definitely art. But that thing over there, I'm not entirely sure. Within the film, though, there's the opportunity to sort of expand your appetite for what art is and can be.
Go with an open mind.
Yeah, go with an open mind. You'll see something you definitely like, for sure. And maybe the stuff that you're like, oh, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe the movie will sort of help create inroads to sort of understand and get a bit more. If the movie inspires you to take up action, take up action. The movie is sort of a love letter to follow through on ideas. We decided we're going to draw every single airline passenger, every single fireman on those buildings in Manhattan. That is a decision, and we stick by it. We decide we're going to make the secret apartment. That is a decision, and we stick by it. And there's some other art projects in there that you'll see that are representations of full commitment. If people are inspired by that type of commitment, then the movie's doing a pretty good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, being that you travel, we're going to wrap it up shortly. Being that you travel to many places, especially now on this journey that you're on, what are some of your favorite malls besides Providence Place? Can you give the people watching some gems that they're like, if they go somewhere, they must go to that mall?
I mean, Not
Gotta have
to
at
be, not
least
to
a
be like
top
super
three.
lame about it, but like the Mall of America.
Where's that?
It's in Minnesota.
Oh, I never been there.
It's the largest mall in America,
Oh, I see.
and it is truly large. Like
Really?
really,
Oh, nice.
really like a city of a mall.
Yeah.
The mall I desperately want to go to is there's one in Winnipeg, which is up in Canada,
Yep.
that apparently is bigger than the Mall of America.
Huge.
I've read it, and I'm like, surely this can't be true.
Yeah.
But I've read the phrase, it has more submarines than the Canadian Navy.
No
Which means that inside the mall there are water passages that have like submarine rides or something.
That's amazing.
I thought I saw the word dolphin thrown around loosely
Right.
in regards to like things that were being shown at the mall
Yeah.
in their water or something. So that's a
We
that's a
see
must
Ferris
see.
wheel in the mall. That's a big
Yeah.
thing for us. You know,
Yeah, exactly. We're like, oh, a
yeah.
carousel, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Anywhere else?
I was
Overseas?
a big fan of the Rhode Island Mall and the Warwick Mall when they were both
I was gonna
running.
ask you that.
I loved that sort of like soft competition between the
Yeah.
two of them. This is a wave throwback, but the Independence Man, who was our that big statue on top of the state capitol, I believe in 1973, it was taken down. So we just had it taken down last year, right? And they cleaned it and they put it back up.
Yeah.
The time before that was in the early 70s. It was taken down and shown, I believe, at the Warwick Mall.
Really? You're giving us some history.
So
I
they
like
showed
that.
this thing there, and it lasted for a very short period of time because it brought in so much attention that the other malls and the other retailers in the area were like, we're going to sue you.
Really?
Because they're like, why did they get Independence
Yeah.
Man? Like,
We
we
need
want
the
Independence Man,
Independence
right? So they had to.
So now everyone's trying to fight for
Exactly.
it.
And they
that's
wanted,
great.
and so they had to move Independence Man to another location.
I feel so bad
Yeah.
right now. Like even Emerald Square Mall, like not for nothing, it's like you see all these stores closing down, like due to like all this, online shopping.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's a little bit of a shame because I think people still yearn for the retail experience.
Yeah.
I think people just like still going to spaces where other people are shopping, like because you get to see other people who have the same kind of like desires to like get out there and get some stuff. It's great to see the people from your city, from your
It gives you a
community.
reason to go out, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, that's one of the things I miss the most about being banned from the malls. I just miss going to a place where I could just see everybody from the whole city in one place. The only other place that's even remotely like that, oddly enough, is like the hospital.
Yeah.
Because,
Who wants to be there?
yeah,
right?
sickness doesn't choose neighborhoods.
Yeah,
Sickness is pulling everybody from every neighborhood and being like, you get a free visit to the hospital.
Yeah.
So,
Even record stores, no more record stores.
no more record stores. I mean, when I was banned from the mall, the biggest issue for me was I use Apple computers for everything, for all my work, and so that forced me up into like Braintree and stuff in Phil. It forced me north to go to the malls up there. Up
Yeah, because
towards.
we don't have another Apple store.
That's correct. Yeah, it
You gotta take
sucked.
a ride.
Yeah, the
Natick
guy,
Mall got an Apple store.
the manager at the Apple store was so good to me in the first couple of years after I was banned. He used to let me bring my computer to the sidewalk, and then he'd send an employee out to get it
This is cool.
and run it in.
I like it.
And then same thing, like if I had to pay for something, he'd send an employee out to like hand him like cash or a credit card, and he'd run it back in and swipe it.
You were like VIP for
So
real.
yeah,
This is when Apple was on the other side. Remember, now they switched it.
they switched it.
Yeah. This is amazing. Now we're gonna get into album of the week real quick.
Album of the week on the Jmack Experience
Album of the
Podcast.
week this week is Cushion Orange Juice 2 by Wiz Khalifa. You listen to Wiz Khalifa?
I have heard a lot of his
Yeah.
music. No, I haven't heard this album though.
Yeah, you gotta check it out.
All right, I will.
This is something that we do. We do a segment. Now, movie of the week.
Movie of the week on the Jmack Experience
Movie of the week
Podcast.
this week is Secret Mall Apartment.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, please make sure you do. Even if you go on a Tuesday, right? Doesn't matter. Because, Tuesday's a little bit less, price, but
Yeah.
just go and watch it. Don't wait for it to come out on streaming platforms. Can we expect a DVD? Because I'm a huge DVD collector, or Blu-ray.
Man, this is
Oh, you don't know
this
yet.
is the journey for these
Okay.
these documentary filmmakers right now are in a struggle because the sales of documentary films are at a 30-year low. That's because the streaming platforms are like, we're making our own films. We're not going to buy films. So it's been really difficult for these filmmakers to sort of get an audience because they don't go to streaming right away. But luckily for us, that means he was forced into doing a national release. So we got to see it in the one place it needed to be seen.
Absolutely.
At the mall. So
don't miss out, right? Go check it out. What's next for Tape Art?
For us, we are continuing our good work out there, teaching on a regular basis, doing small murals in and around town, traveling and making bigger murals. The biggest project we were working on for 4 years is we invented a handheld slide projector on the 35 millimeter format that allows you at home to project a tape art image onto a wall to trace with tape.
Oh, that's cool.
So it makes it like super duper easy. We built it primarily for our work in psychiatric facilities.
Right.
So we did a lot of work with psychiatric patients, and we wanted to have an additional activity for them.
So it gives you like a stencil more.
It gives you this perfect stencil. And we make the stencils. So you get these like really sweet drawings. Now, if you bring the same projector outside and you got a nice dark wall, it can throw a 9-story image. So all of a sudden, you've got this ability to do like really cool street art with just light.
Oh, this is amazing.
And so we, about a month ago, after years of tuning this thing, investing in it, and held in our hands the final projector. Now, to get this thing made so it's really affordable for everybody, all of our work is in factories in China.
When is this going to release? I'm like itching to buy it already.
Yeah.
Can you purchase now or still in the works?
You cannot because, not to get political about it, but we held this projector in our hand and we're like, here we go. We can launch a Kickstarter and the fine people can buy this within a couple months. And then a week later, this administration said the word tariffs and it crushed us. It sucks. So every penny we have invested is sitting in molds in China with a team in China that we are close with, have been communicating with for years. We love these guys. And right now,
that people could do to like
there's
change
nothing we can do. And, and we're just one of millions of small business owners and companies that are going to be deeply affected by something that doesn't seem to have a plan, which is very frustrating for us. So we just gotta, just us and everybody else, we just gotta wait it out. We got to see whether they come to their senses.
Do you have one already done? Like at the moment you say you already had some for the patients that you deal with, but you can't mass produce it.
We can't mass produce it, right? So we have.
I want one.
We have 10. We have 10 projectors.
Can I borrow?
That's it. So we will get there. If you follow our Instagram, we're at Tape Art, and when the projector becomes available, we're going to fire it up with a Kickstarter so people can get in there early. And then we're super excited for the day that it is available for everyone because we think it's going to be exciting for people to have a chance to make art big and easily. Yeah. And you can look at old 35 millimeter slides. So your parents, grandparents, great grandparents slides.
You're gonna get a kick out of this.
Yeah, you can pop them in.
You're gonna bring them back to that time.
Yep, exactly. Show them the old days.
Now we spoke about a lot of things today. Anything else that you want to promote that I might have, not covered or I might have missed?
Matt, you did a really good job. You asked all the good questions.
It was such a
pleasure.
Presence, man. You did give us the social media. Can people reach out to you to collaborate on projects?
Yes. So through our Instagram, that's the best way to find us. You can direct message us.
The Instagram once again?
It's just at Tape Art.
At Tape Art.
Exactly as it sounds. Okay. If you see a bunch of images of blue and green tape, you found the right place. Okay. And that's the best way to communicate with us.
All right.
For sure.
I like it. And can we agree that all the experiences that you went through got you to where you are today?
Yes, absolutely. Forever evolving, forever growing.
Any advice out there for those who may be experiencing the same situations you went through or are going through now?
You got to keep fighting. The exact same situation that's illustrated in the movie of big, gigantic building filled with artists and small businesses and potential is that same scenario is unfolding right now at Atlantic Mills. Yeah. So Atlantic Mills is another beautiful, beautiful building in Onlyville. It has decades worth of businesses and artists, and there's a church in there and a museum in there, and it's being bought by somebody who's going to make the decision. Do I go for the full-blown profit model where I say, everybody out, we got condos, everybody out,
Yeah.
I'm going to make this.
This is happening a lot.
It's
too.
happening, same
A lot of
thing.
People have people where to go or live.
So if you ever see on your socials or hear about a protest or a get-together, go. Like you have to be seen if this is something that you believe in.
Yeah.
I'm continuing to do the type of work that I do, which is working with in the background with sort of like politicians and decision makers to try to get models in front of them of projects that look like what we're trying to have happen in Atlantic Mills. Like, you can make it work. It is a decision. Right. It's just a question of what level of profit you're willing to settle with, but it will be profit regardless.
I like it. Any last words or special shout outs before we sign off?
No, I really appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, man. This is awesome. Tape Art, the Jmack Experience podcast. Once again, it was an honor. I cannot wait to put this out for the world to see. And once again, make sure you check out The Secret Mall Apartment. It's in theaters nationwide. We're actually going to put up the photo of where you can go see it if you're not in Rhode Island. Episode 92. We're signing out. Gra!
Thanks for coming on the Jmack Experience Podcast. Be sure to come on for another episode every single week. Until next time, peace.